I sometimes think when I was a little kid and I used to hang out with my grandfather who was in his 90s, and I thought, Jesus, who the hell would want to live this long?
Clint Eastwood is not just the typical Hollywood legend. At 94, he maintains a sharp and outspoken personality, sometimes even known for his sometimes nonsense attitude both on and off screen. With so many years of experiences and co-actors he rubbed elbows with, he knows who he hated in the industry. Naming 7 stars he couldn't stand working with, this revelation will pull back the curtain on decades of Hollywood tension. Number 7. Liam Neeson. Legend on legend. Well, some think Eastwood dislikes Neeson because Neeson finds him hard to deal and work with. Liam Neeson once admitted that working with Clint Eastwood wasn't exactly a walk in the park. Eastwood, famous for his no-nonsense, demanding style behind the camera, has a reputation for being tough on actors. Neeson, known for his thoughtful and serious approach to acting, apparently found that intensity a bit overwhelming. It's not that there was any personal beef between them, more like a clash of working styles. Eastwood's approach is famously direct and sometimes harsh, expecting actors to get it right quickly without much fuss, while Neeson tends to take a more methodical route, diving deep into his characters and sometimes needing more space to explore. From Neeson's perspective, Eastwood's style might have felt restrictive or even a little intimidating. Imagine trying to dig into a complex emotional scene but getting only a curt, "Do it again, but better," with no real guidance or room for questions. For an actor who values nuance and understanding the why behind a scene, that could definitely cause some friction. Meanwhile, Eastwood's focus is often on efficiency and realism, pushing actors to keep things natural and unembellished. If Neeson was used to a more collaborative, actor-focused process, Eastwood's style might have felt cold or unyielding. On the flip side, Eastwood is a legend for a reason, and his directing style has made some incredible films. He demands a lot, but also trusts his actors to bring their own truth to the role, even if he doesn't micromanage. So maybe Eastwood saw Neeson's desire for more guidance as a bit of a challenge. If Eastwood felt Neeson was hard to direct or not quick to adjust, that could have added some tension on set. Neither was wrong, just 2 strong, experienced artists with different approaches trying to work together. These kinds of clashes aren't unusual in Hollywood, especially when 2 big talents with strong ideas come together. While they might not have been the best creative fit, both Eastwood and Neeson have enormous respect in the industry, and any disagreements likely stayed professional. Perhaps Eastwood sees how good of an actor Neeson is, and that explains the discomfort. Fans have long enjoyed debating who's the bigger star or better actor between Clint Eastwood and Liam Neeson. Both have carved out legendary careers, but they come from different generations and bring very different vibes to their work. So comparing them is a bit like comparing apples and oranges. Each has their own flavor and appeal. Clint Eastwood is the classic tough guy, the embodiment of cool, quiet strength. He rose to fame in spaghetti westerns and then became a powerhouse director and actor known for his gritty, no-frills style. Eastwood's appeal lies in his understated charisma. He doesn't need to be loud or flashy. His presence alone commands attention. Fans love his iconic roles in movies like The Good, The Bad, and The Ugly and Dirty Harry, where he plays characters who are tough but often morally complex. Beyond acting, Eastwood's directing career is celebrated for tackling tough themes with a straightforward, honest approach. He's earned critical acclaim and Oscars, proving he's not just a screen-tough guy, but a serious filmmaker. On the other hand, Liam Neeson is more of a modern-day action and dramatic star, known for his intense performances and deep emotional range. He burst into the spotlight with dramas like Schindler's List, where his acting chops really shone, showing he's capable of profound, heartfelt roles. Then, in his 50s, he reinvented himself as an action hero with films like Taken, where his gritty determination and vulnerability made him a favorite for a new generation. Neeson's fans appreciate his ability to balance toughness with sensitivity. He's often the hero who's not just physically strong, but emotionally layered. So, who's better? It really depends on what you value. Fans of classic cinema and legendary westerns will likely lean toward Eastwood for his iconic status and pioneering role in Hollywood. Meanwhile, those who appreciate intense drama mixed with adrenaline-pumping action might prefer Neeson's versatility and late-career resurgence. Is that a threat to Eastwood in the past? No one knows. He felt even towards the next co-star in the list. Number 6. Val Kilmer. Clint Eastwood and Val Kilmer are both iconic actors in Hollywood, but their reputations on set couldn't be more different. Eastwood is famously a no-nonsense director and actor who values professionalism, efficiency, and discipline. He's the kind of guy who likes to keep things moving, get the job done quickly, and avoid any unnecessary drama. Val Kilmer, on the other hand, is known for having a strong, sometimes unpredictable personality. While Kilmer is undeniably talented and has a magnetic presence on screen, his approach to acting and working on set can be a bit more intense, free-spirited, and at times, difficult. This clash of personalities and working styles is likely at the heart of any tension between the two. Eastwood's directing style is very controlled and focused, and he expects his actors to follow his lead without pushing back too much. Kilmer's unpredictability and willingness to explore characters in unconventional ways might have felt like a challenge to Eastwood's authority or disrupted the smooth workflow Eastwood prefers. Directors like Eastwood usually thrive in environments where actors take clear direction and don't require a lot of hand-holding or extra takes. Kilmer, meanwhile, has a reputation for being somewhat temperamental and independent-minded, which can be a double-edged sword. While that can lead to brilliant performances, it can also make working with him frustrating, especially for directors who want to keep things simple and efficient. In many cases, Kilmer has been described as someone who pushes boundaries and isn't afraid to ruffle feathers. When that kind of attitude meets Eastwood's straightforward, get-it-done approach, friction is almost inevitable. It's also worth noting that Hollywood sets can be pressure cookers, and sometimes clashes between strong personalities are more about stress and differing work ethics than personal dislike. Eastwood's career is built on discipline and decades of experience behind the camera, so he likely values reliability and professionalism above all. If Kilmer came across as difficult or unpredictable, Eastwood may have just seen that as a liability that slowed down production or created tension with the crew. It's not uncommon for talented artists to butt heads when their creative processes and temperaments don't line up. Eastwood and Kilmer both have big personalities and strong visions, but their methods for getting there differ greatly. So, the rumored dislike or tension probably boils down to those contrasting styles clashing rather than any personal vendetta. Number 5. Richard Harris. When you think about Richard Harris, a few things instantly come to mind: charisma, raw talent, and yes, a bit of a wild streak. Harris wasn't your typical Hollywood star who'd play by the rules without question. Instead, he had this reputation for being temperamental and rebellious, which made him a fascinating, if sometimes difficult, figure to work with. Now, put him alongside someone like Clint Eastwood, a man known for his cool efficiency and no-nonsense approach on set, and you can start to see why their relationship might have been a bit rocky. Harris's unpredictability was legendary. He wasn't afraid to speak his mind, throw a tantrum, or go off script if he felt it served his art or just expressed his mood at the moment. That kind of attitude can be a double-edged sword. It often leads to brilliant, spontaneous performances, but it can also throw a wrench in the smooth running of a production. Directors and co-stars who like a well-oiled machine might find that challenging. And Eastwood? Well, he's famously known for his efficiency and professionalism. He doesn't waste time. He values discipline and order on set, preferring to keep things moving quickly and smoothly. Eastwood's style is all about minimizing drama and maximizing results. So, imagine the kind of tension that could brew between these two. Harris's more volatile and free-spirited nature likely rubbed up against Eastwood's streamlined, no-nonsense style. Harris might have felt stifled or constrained by Eastwood's rigid approach, while Eastwood might have seen Harris as unpredictable and difficult to manage. Neither of them was likely to back down easily. Harris was used to doing things his way, and Eastwood had no patience for anything that got in the way of his vision. But it wasn't just about their working styles, it was also about personalities. Harris's rebellious streak could come off as defiant or uncooperative, especially to someone like Eastwood, who values respect for the craft and the set. On the flip side, Harris might have seen Eastwood as cold or overly controlling. That kind of dynamic can create real tension, and it's easy to see how it would complicate their working relationship. It wasn't necessarily about right or wrong, but about two strong, very different personalities trying to coexist in a high-pressure environment. Yet, despite, or maybe because of, this friction, there was something compelling about their interactions. When you have two strong creative forces clashing, it can lead to moments of unexpected brilliance. Harris's unpredictability could push Eastwood out of his comfort zone, and Eastwood's discipline might have kept Harris grounded enough to deliver. In a strange way, their differences might have balanced each other out, even if it wasn't always smooth sailing. It's the classic story of artistic tension. Sometimes the best work comes from conflict, not harmony. The relationship between Richard Harris and Clint Eastwood was probably complicated and layered, just like both men themselves. Neither one was a pushover, and neither was likely to compromise their principles easily. But that friction, that spark, might have fueled some of their best work, even if it came with a bit of drama behind the scenes. The drama never stops. Eastwood has something to say, even to her female co-leads, even a rumored past romance. Do you have a wild guess? Number 4, Sandre Lockach. Clint Eastwood and Sandre Lockach's relationship is one of those classic Hollywood stories that mixes romance, creativity, and a lot of drama. They were together for more than a decade, and Lockach appeared in several of Eastwood's films, making them one of the more well-known actor-director pairs of their time. But beneath the surface of their long partnership, things were often far from smooth. Their relationship was reportedly filled with tension, both on and off the set. And at times, there was clearly some resentment and dislike on Eastwood's part. One big factor in their complicated dynamic was the imbalance of power. Eastwood was already a huge movie star and a successful director when Lockach came into his life. She was talented and ambitious, but still trying to establish herself independently. Working closely with someone so famous and controlling could naturally create friction. Eastwood was known for being a very demanding director with a very specific vision, and Lockach's desire to be taken seriously as an actress and filmmaker may have clashed with his control over their professional collaborations. Some reports suggest that Eastwood would often overshadow Lockach, professionally sidelining her despite her ambitions, which caused a lot of frustration. Their personal relationship was equally fraught. What started as a passionate romance reportedly became strained over the years, filled with emotional ups and downs. Rumors swirled about Eastwood's unwillingness to commit fully or even marry Locke, and there was speculation about his involvement with other women during their relationship. For Locke, this may have felt like a painful combination of love and neglect, leading to resentment. At the same time, Eastwood's famously private and stoic nature made it difficult for the two to have open, honest communication, which probably made tensions worse. Things got even more complicated when their relationship ended. The breakup wasn't quiet or simple. It spilled into legal battles and public disputes that painted a picture of bitterness on both sides. Locke sued Eastwood in a high-profile case, which added fuel to the rumors of deep personal animosity. Behind the scenes, Eastwood reportedly viewed Locke's actions as betrayal, and the public clash only intensified the negative feelings. The Clint Eastwood-Sandre Lockach relationship seems like a textbook example of how mixing business with romance can get messy, especially when one person holds more power. Eastwood's controlling personality and Locke's struggle for autonomy created a perfect storm of tension and dislike. Despite their on-screen chemistry and years together, the personal and professional conflicts left lasting scars on both of them. Number 3. Haqin Phoenix. Early in Haqin Phoenix's career, before he became the critically acclaimed actor we recognize today, there were some bumps along the way, one of which involved a bit of tension with Clint Eastwood. This isn't the kind of story you hear every day because both men have gone on to have incredible, respected careers. But it's interesting to look back at those early moments when Phoenix was still finding his footing as an actor, and Eastwood was already a seasoned veteran with a famously direct style on set. Back around the year 2000, Phoenix was cast in The Yards, a crime drama about corruption and power struggles in the New York City subway system. Eastwood was known for being a no-nonsense director, someone who expects professionalism and isn't shy about giving tough notes or keeping things efficient. For a young actor like Phoenix, who was still growing into his craft and trying to figure out how to navigate Hollywood, this could have been intimidating or even frustrating. Reports suggest that their working relationship during that time wasn't the easiest. Phoenix, known for being quite intense and sometimes unpredictable, apparently clashed a bit with Eastwood's straightforward, no-frills approach. Eastwood's style tends to be very practical and sometimes blunt, prioritizing getting the job done over coddling actors or softening feedback. For someone still developing their confidence and acting process, this kind of environment can feel harsh. It wasn't that Eastwood disliked Phoenix personally, but the differences in their work styles and expectations led to some friction on set. What's important to remember is that Phoenix was still early in his career and figuring out how to manage the pressures of acting under a strong director. Eastwood, meanwhile, had decades of experience and a reputation for being tough but fair. Sometimes, when a young actor and an established director come together, clashes happen simply because both are working hard, but in different ways. It's a classic scenario in the film world where creative personalities collide, and neither side is necessarily wrong, just different. Over time, Phoenix would mature into one of the most respected actors of his generation, known for his dedication and intense preparation. Eastwood, too, continued directing and acting with that same efficient, no-nonsense style that earned him legendary status. Even if their early interaction wasn't perfect, it didn't hold Phoenix back. Instead, it seems to have been part of his growth, pushing him to develop a thicker skin and learn how to thrive in challenging environments. While it's true there was some tension between Clint Eastwood and Haqin Phoenix on the Yard set, it wasn't about personal dislike, but more about the natural clash of two very different working methods. Both Eastwood and Phoenix have come a long way since then, and that early clash might just have been a stepping stone in Phoenix's journey to becoming the powerhouse actor he is today. The next clash is again with someone familiar and supposedly special to Clint. Who would imagine there was tension going on while completing Bronco Billy? Number 2. Margaret Lindsay. The film industry is renowned for its creative tensions, as collaborative art inevitably involves clashes of vision, style, and personality. One notable example comes from the production of Bronco Billy, 1980, where reports suggest a significant conflict between Clint Eastwood, the film's star and director, and actress Margaret Lindsay. While Eastwood is often celebrated for his tough, no-nonsense approach to filmmaking, Lindsay sought greater creative involvement. This clash reflects not only personal differences, but also larger themes about control, collaboration, and artistic expression in Hollywood's studio system. Bronco Billy, directed by and starring Clint Eastwood, is a Western comedy drama that tells the story of a modern-day Wild West show performer with a complex personal life. Released in 1980, it came at a time when Eastwood was firmly established as a major Hollywood figure, both in front of and behind the camera. Known for his efficiency and focus, Eastwood frequently took the helm in his projects to maintain a strong, unified vision. Margaret Lindsay, a respected actress with a background that included both film and stage work, was part of the ensemble cast. Lindsay had a history of engaging deeply with her characters and contributing creatively beyond just acting, including input on scripts and character development. However, on Bronco Billy, this desire for more involvement reportedly did not sit well with Eastwood. At the heart of the reported tension was a fundamental difference in approach. Eastwood, as director, was known for a lean, rapid shooting style. He prioritized moving fast on set to stay on schedule and budget, often limiting the number of takes and insisting on clear, concise direction. His approach was less about collaborative exploration and more about decisive execution. Margaret Lindsay, conversely, wanted to delve deeper into her character and influence certain creative decisions. She sought more input into dialogue, scene dynamics, and character motivations, aiming for a richer, more nuanced portrayal. For Lindsay, creative collaboration was integral to her craft. The clash arose because Eastwood's priority was maintaining control to ensure efficiency and coherence. He reportedly viewed Lindsay's attempts at creative input as a disruption that slowed production and complicated his clear vision for the film. This power dynamic between a director prioritizing control and an actor seeking collaboration sparked tension. Clint Eastwood's reputation as a director includes a consistent focus on speed and control. Known for shooting scenes in just a few takes, Eastwood believes in trusting his instincts and keeping production lean. This style is efficient, but can be at odds with actors who want to experiment or engage more deeply in the creative process. Eastwood's approach often leads to a streamlined workflow, but can create friction with actors who feel their artistic needs are sidelined. Margaret Lindsay's desire for more input challenged this workflow, leading to the reported clashes. For Lindsay, acting was not merely performing lines, but inhabiting a character fully and contributing creatively. Her experience likely shaped her belief that collaboration with the director and creative team enriches the film's final product. Her push for more input on Bronco Billy signals a commitment to her craft and an awareness of the actor's potential role as a creative partner rather than just a performer. Such an approach is common in theater and many film productions where directors foster an open environment. However, Lindsay's approach apparently conflicted with Eastwood's more top-down style. The friction highlights the challenge actors face when their vision conflicts with that of a controlling director. The Eastwood-Lindsay clash exemplifies a broader, long-standing tension in the film industry: the balance between directorial control and actor collaboration. Directors like Eastwood often assert strong control to realize their vision efficiently, especially in projects they helm themselves. Actors, meanwhile, seek to influence their roles and the narrative to deliver authentic, layered performances. This dynamic can create creative friction, but also raises questions about the collaborative nature of filmmaking. How much creative agency should actors have? To what extent should directors accommodate such input without compromising their vision or workflow? The reported clash between Clint Eastwood and Margaret Lindsay on the set of Bronco Billy illustrates the complex interplay of personality, creative vision, and working style in filmmaking. Eastwood's desire for tight control and rapid progress conflicted with Lindsay's push for deeper creative input, reflecting a fundamental tension between efficiency and collaboration. While the specifics of their conflict remain anecdotal, the episode sheds light on broader challenges faced by filmmakers and actors in Hollywood. It underscores the need for mutual respect and communication to balance artistic integrity with practical constraints, ensuring a productive and creative environment. In the end, Bronco Billy stands as a film shaped by these creative tensions, a testament to the complexities of collaborative art in a demanding industry. Number 1. James Caan. When it comes to Hollywood legends, Clint Eastwood and Jeff Bridges definitely belong in that conversation. Both actors have carved out impressive careers with distinct styles, and fans naturally get curious when two big names come together on a project. One such project was The Bridges of Madison County, 1995, a romantic drama directed by Eastwood himself, starring both him and Bridges. While the movie was critically acclaimed and beloved by many, behind the scenes, things reportedly weren't as smooth as the final film suggests. There are whispers and stories that Clint Eastwood and Jeff Bridges didn't exactly see eye to eye during the filming process. Some reports suggest that their creative visions clashed, especially regarding acting choices and the overall direction of their performances. Eastwood, who was not only the lead actor but also the director, had a very specific vision for the tone and emotional undercurrents of the film. Bridges, on the other hand, brought his own approach, sometimes more methodical and subtle, that didn't always align perfectly with Eastwood's more direct style. Part of the tension might come from Eastwood's dual role on set. As a director, he's known for being efficient and decisive, sometimes favoring a no-nonsense attitude that pushes the cast and crew to deliver quickly and with a certain grit. Bridges, known for his laid-back vibe and deeply nuanced performances, might have found Eastwood's approach a bit rigid or constraining. When two strong creative personalities with different working styles have to collaborate closely, it's natural that sparks fly. But from what's been said, these disagreements never escalated into anything truly hostile. They were more about artistic differences and finding common ground. It's also worth noting that Eastwood has a reputation for being pretty particular about how scenes play out, especially emotionally heavy ones. The Bridges of Madison County is a film that depends a lot on subtlety and unspoken feelings, so every gesture and glance mattered. Jeff Bridges might have wanted to explore his character in ways that Eastwood didn't feel fit the story's tone, which could lead to some behind-the-scenes friction. But despite this, both actors are consummate professionals, and the fact that the movie turned out so well is a testament to their ability to compromise and work through any disagreements. In the end, the supposed dislike or tension between Clint Eastwood and Jeff Bridges seems to boil down more to creative friction than personal animosity. Hollywood is full of stories like this, where brilliant minds push each other hard, sometimes clash, but ultimately create something memorable. The Bridges of Madison County remains a beautiful film, partly because of the strong performances from both actors. If anything, their different perspectives might have added a layer of complexity and depth to the characters, making the final product richer than if everything had gone perfectly smoothly. Now, let's hear from others how and what Clint is on set. Eastwood, as a co-star, working with Clint Eastwood, is often described as a unique experience, something that leaves a lasting impression, whether you're a seasoned actor or just getting your start. Eastwood has built a reputation in Hollywood not just as a legendary actor and director, but as someone who operates in his own distinct rhythm. He's known for his quiet, no-fuss demeanor on set. There are no raised voices, no dramatic outbursts, no 20-take scenes unless absolutely necessary. That might sound like a dream to some, but it can also catch people off guard if they're used to the more chaotic, micromanaged environments that some film sets can become. For many of his co-stars, though, that calm efficiency is one of Eastwood's best qualities. Take Morgan Freeman, for example. Freeman has worked with Clint on more than one project, Unforgiven and $1 Million Baby being the most well-known, and he's been very vocal about how much he appreciates Eastwood's leadership style. He said that Clint's approach makes everyone on set feel like a professional, like their time and input are respected. He doesn't bark orders or hover behind the monitor micromanaging every move. Instead, he gives you space to do what you were hired to do. That level of trust is rare, and for seasoned actors, it's a sign of true respect. Hilary Swank had a similar experience while filming $1 Million Baby. She has spoken about how much she valued Clint's gentle but focused directing style. There's no ego with him, no sense that he needs to dominate the room, and yet his presence commands attention. He walks on set, and people just naturally quiet down and get to work. She said that while he doesn't give long-winded direction or theatrical pep talks, his guidance is precise and always well-timed. If you're missing something emotionally in a scene, he'll give you just a few words, and somehow it clicks. That kind of instinct comes with decades of experience, and actors who are prepared usually thrive under that kind of leadership. Of course, not every actor finds his methods intuitive. Clint doesn't really do rehearsals. He doesn't like excessive preparation or overthinking. He expects you to show up ready, to know your lines, and to bring the character with you. For actors who rely heavily on direction or who prefer more collaborative, exploratory rehearsal time, that can feel a little intimidating or even frustrating at first. But it's not about being distant or cold. Eastwood simply values efficiency and believes in trusting the team he's hired. Some younger or less experienced actors have mentioned being surprised by how quickly scenes move, and it can be a bit of a learning curve to adjust to that pace. Another thing that comes up often in conversations about Eastwood is how quiet his sets are. There's almost a reverent silence, with crew members moving about calmly and everyone focused. No shouting, no clapping after scenes. No one trying to be the loudest voice in the room. It's a work environment that mirrors Eastwood himself, cool, measured, and mature. That might not suit everyone's style, especially actors who feed off high energy, but it tends to create a level of professionalism and mutual respect that people remember long after the film wraps. If you made it to this part, you're an MVP. Subscribe to the channel for more riveting stories.